A call for the University of the West Indies to serve governments around the region. I'm Clint Watson. The story comes to you from Barbados, ahead in the Bahamas tonight.
And coming up in sports, the Johnson Lady Truckers continue to roll in the New Providence Softball Association. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for tuning in. CARICOM Chairman, Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie, calling on the region to unite through education in order to eradicate the social challenges. In his address at the installation of the new Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies in Caves Hill, Barbados last night, Prime Minister Christie told academic scholars and professors of the Caribbean community that the expectations and demand of region's leading university must increase, as it is needed to play a pivotal role in the development of our people. Clint Watson reports from Barbados tonight.
The 8th Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Barbados' own Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, assumes the leadership of the institution at a critical time in the global education arena. Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie telling the august body of educators Saturday evening at the Usain Bolt Sports Complex at UWI's Cave Hill campus that Caribbean nations must not only place greater emphasis on education, but must make it a transformational experience for our people and economies.
We owe it to our citizens to ensure that we provide the quality of education that will maximize the opportunity for self-fulfillment, and in doing so, raise the level of Caribbean civilization to unprecedented heights. We must continue to capitalize on the strengths and resources of each country within CARICOM, and strive to create methodologies and synergies that will foster the advancement of our people and societies.
Prime Minister Christie pledged the full support of the Bahamas, citing the long-standing relationship with the University of the West Indies.
And I am certain that as the College of the Bahamas transitions to the University of the Bahamas, our collaborative efforts with UWI will prove mutually beneficial.
He noted that it is the expectation that governments of the region will draw on the expertise of UWI
to provide the required research and technical advice to assist us in addressing practical and specific needs as we manage the affairs of our countries. In that way, the rich intellectual capacity resident in the university could be applied without us having to seek the required expertise from outside of our region.
Speaking to the issue of youth unemployment and other social ills affecting the region's youth, Mr. Christie, in his usual passionate plea, stressed the importance of the region's university to meet the expectations and make these critical links happen that help to eradicate the challenges facing CARICOM youth.
I am mindful of the fact that the unemployment rates in our country for young people happens to be over 30%. And that whatever we do not have the luxury, even as academics, to see ourselves limited to the roles of teaching in our institutions. Our insight, our perspectives, our sensibilities, our feelings must be driven to the least of our brethren who are in our countries, because the entire stability of the region is now predicated on how their vulnerabilities are addressed.
And so the message here is simple. Just as there are many campuses of one university throughout the Caribbean, so it is with many nations producing one people. The message here today is together as one Caribbean, we must eradicate poverty by producing educated people. in Cave Hill, Barbados. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Newly installed Vice Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, said in his inaugural address that CARICOM economies have been affected more than most by the recent global recession, and some still remain sluggish. Sir Hilary says there is a sense of despair among sectors of our youth.
The time is now for us to rekindle the Caribbean revolution that has brought us thus far, to rekindle that spirit of struggle for self-reliance, to rekindle that spirit of struggle for economic ownership of our resources and self-responsibility. That spirit that speaks to the rise of the ordinary man and woman in the street as a citizen with ideas and energy and enthusiasm to shape and to rebuild our cultures. That spirit which says, we are one people, one nation, owners of a civilization influenced by all, fertilized by all, connected to all, but inferior to none, and therefore equal to all.
The Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas is celebrating 79 years of radio broadcasting, along with 38 years of television this year. As a part of the year-long celebrations, employees attended Bethel Baptist Church on Meeting Street this morning. BCB's General Manager Diana Swan used the occasion to assure employees and the public that the best of ZNS is yet to come.
More than my life here on earth. Some of our staff are looking at each other and saying, 80 years? Will I reach 80?
Nothing will happen unless you, Bethel, and the entire communities throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas assist us as we continue to educate, entertain, and inform you.
Also gathering in worship this morning were officials from the National Emergency Management Agency, and members of the Disaster Management Committee attended the East Street Gospel Chapel to give God thanks. Minister of State for Works and Urban Development, the Honorable Arnold Forbes, and NEMA's Director Captain Stephen Russell say they will do all they can to ensure Bahamians are safe.
No matter what the eventuality, to deal with disasters, to ensure that Bahamians are safe, to ensure that property is safe, and to ensure that the Bahamas as a whole is prepared no matter what the situation.
We're truly pleased the state of readiness of all of our agency partners. Tomorrow we go into, next week go into a conference where we bring some island administrators from the various islands of the southeastern Bahamas. We bring them into a conference for a few days just to make sure they're all on the accord, we're all on one accord on what has to be done.
And when we come back, hear about a cancer telethon held today. The weekend edition continues right after this.